Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now pleased to invite Yang Berhormat Dato Sri Mustapa Mohamed, Minister of International Trade and Industry, to present Malaysia's Investment Performance Report for 2012. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan Dato Sri.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia. Yang Hormat Dato Mukris Tun Mahathir, Timbalan Menteri Perdagangan Antarabangsa dan Industri, Bahagia Tan Sri Amir Syam Aziz, Pengurusi Lembaga Mida, Bahagia Dato Naharuddin Nordin, CEO Mida, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, tuan-tuan dan puan mewakili corridors dan investment promotion agencies, seterusnya rakan-rakan media, tuan-tuan dan puan sekalian. It is this time of the year again when we see you to announce Malaysia's performance in the preceding year. Some of you have been with us every year in this very important function. As you will remember, we have this ceremony, or we have this do sometime in February. Last year it was somewhere around the 20th, 21st. This year it is being held on the 27th of February. So as I say, this is the time of the year again for us to share with you our performance in the preceding year, and let me thank all our friends who are very supportive of Mida and MITI, and we look forward to your continued cooperation going forward. As you're aware, we announced our Q4 numbers last week. Was it last week or the week before? That was our performance for the whole of 2012, 5.4% growth, or 5.6% growth last year, and 6.4% growth in the last quarter. So the fourth quarter was a very outstanding quarter. Investments have been one of the main driving forces of this robust performance of the Malaysian economy. So today I'm sharing with you the other side of investments. There are two aspects of investments. One is realized investments. These are accounting numbers, these are actual investments, and today I'm going to highlight, by and large, approved investments. Approved investments are important, they're relevant. That will give you an idea of what's in the pipeline, what might happen this year and 2014. So we have two sets of numbers. One set of numbers, these are realized investments. These are national accounts numbers announced by the Governor of Central Bank every quarter. Every quarter, the Governor will be making a statement on the performance in the preceding quarter. So the full year numbers have been announced, and today I'm going to share with you our numbers on approved investments. These numbers have been collated from 19 ministries and about 31 or so agencies. So you can see the task, the big task that Mida has got to undertake every year. Mida, as you know, collects investment figures on manufacturing and manufacturing-related services. We have other agencies in government, the various local authorities collecting figures on, say, property investments in the property sector. Agriculture Ministry is involved when it comes to agriculture. Petronas when it comes to investments in oil and gas. So this is a joint effort, but Mida is the coordinating agency. As a principal investment promotion agency, one of the responsibilities of Mida is to collect these numbers on an annual basis, and we do this actually on a quarterly basis. So what I'm presenting to you this afternoon is an aggregation of all the statistics that Mida has collected from a number of ministries and agencies. So we have manufacturing, services, and the primary sector as well. Last year we did very well in terms of realized investments. Investments grew by about 22% last year. That was in constant prices. This is in current prices. Realized investments in current prices, 24.8%. In constant prices, it was 22%. Yeah, 2% in constant prices. In current prices, investments realized last year increased by 24.8%, 139.5 billion, an increase, a big increase, and this actually exceeded our target. The target was 127.9 billion. We achieved 139.5 billion. So in terms of KPIs, we exceeded our KPIs by 9.1%. Yeah. So as I said, this is realized investments. This afternoon is more about approved investments. Next. This is a very important aspect of our work here. I mean, we attract investments. These are important, but probably more important to Malaysians, young people in particular, is the number of jobs created. Yeah, these are actual job opportunities created in manufacturing. These are realized investments in manufacturing alone. I'm highlighting as an example. So about 80,000 jobs were created in 2012. These are actual jobs in the year 2012. As you know, we are full employment economy. Unemployment last year was at 3.1%. We are fully employed, 3.1%. That was our level of employment in December 2012. And manufacturing alone created 80. These are actual jobs created. What's important is that within this total figure, 62% is in this category of skilled and executives. You add the skilled workers and executives, they're not exactly high income in the sense that those of you from developed countries come from. Our high income definition remains at the salary level of 3,000 and above. So if someone enters the job market, gets a job, the salary is 3,000 or above that level, then in our view, at this point of time, that can be considered to be high income. So it's a very conservative definition. Yeah, some of you might argue with me, that's not high income. How can you survive in KL with 3,000 ringgit? Yeah? You need at least 10,000 ringgit, but that's the current definition. This is work in progress. So in this category, skilled and executives, yeah, we have 38 plus 24, so that makes 62%. So almost 2/3 of people employed last year were in this category of skilled workers and above. These are people with some kind of vocational, technical education or diploma and above. Yeah? Whereas general workers, only 38%. So this is very much in line with our current emphasis. But if you ask me, we have to work harder to increase the percentage of executives. These are the people in top management, in research, design, development. The 24% has got to go much higher than that percentage. Okay, next, slide number 5. This is now I'm going back to proof. In the last two slides, I was focusing more on realized numbers. Now it's approved investments. Last year was 162.4 billion ringgit. This was the highest ever recorded. And those investments approved in the various sectors would create 183,000 jobs altogether. So these are the number of job opportunities created from those investments approved by the country, by all agencies in government. So this is a very important aspect. What's important is that we have to keep on creating jobs. Yeah? We are a growing population, a young nation, and we need to provide job opportunities. And as I said, we will be working very hard in order to create jobs every year to provide opportunities for our young people. Next slide will be, these are some examples of what we call higher end. One is in technology, new and emerging technologies, aircraft design. Some of you have gone through the gallery walk. I went through for 6-7 minutes, which was partly the reason why I was late. Yeah, you could see on those panels some of these new emerging technologies, aircraft design, IC design. Yeah, there's a company in the gallery there involved in aircraft design, one company IC design, solar, advanced ceramics. So these are the kinds of industries that we are focusing on. The other is we are working very hard to create an ecosystem, clusters in semiconductors, LED, M&E, integrated solar. So this is another dimension. One is attracting new technologies and secondly, completing the supply chain, the value chain, creating clusters in this country in semiconductors, LEDs. Okay. The other dimension is we are working very hard to make Kuala Lumpur the global hub, and indeed Malaysia the global hub. I just came from another press conference. This is with 17 multinational companies which have decided to set up base in this country or expand their operations in Malaysia to make Malaysia its global hub. 17 in the last 18 months. And this year, Invest KL, with the help of Mida, is going to have another 10 or so. So that's, so we are pleased at the fact that more and more companies are looking at KL as a place to locate their global hub. Darden, you're familiar, IBM GDC, the global development center for IBM is in Cyberjaya, yeah? Darden, Halliburton, these are some companies which are making Malaysia the hub for its global operations. So this is another dimension. The other dimension is that we believe we've been able to be inclusive in our development. Yeah, in the sense that development is happening, or investments are going into almost every corridor. We have the 5 in Peninsula, Northern, Eastern, Iskandar, of course, Sabah and Sarawak. Yeah? So investments are going into all the corridors. Yeah. Okay, so that's about balance flows of investments throughout the country. The Klang Valley is not part of any corridor. Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Melaka, Federal Territory, that's not part of any corridor. And this part of Malaysia is doing very well, the Klang Valley. Okay. Next, this is again, looking back into history. 154 last year, 105, 2010. 154, 2011, 105, 2010, and 162 in 2012. These are investment approved in all sectors throughout the country. So 162, 154 last year, 2011, and 105 in 2010. So in terms of investments approved last year, 2012, it was 5.1%, a modest increase, but of course it's the highest, and as I said earlier, creating about 183,000 jobs. These investments are in about 6,400 projects altogether. This is the breakdown between domestic and foreign. Yeah, I'm talking here about total investments. I'm not talking about manufacturing services yet. It's total investments. A very interesting phenomenon last year was that the bulk of that was in domestic investments, and 22% coming from FDIs. The previous year, 2011, 44% coming from foreign investments, and 56% from domestic investments. So there's been a big surge in domestic investments, gaining a bigger share in total approved investments in the year 2012. Okay, this is the breakdown. There are, as you know, 3 main sectors in the economy. Services, the biggest sector is services, accounting for almost 60% of GDP, manufacturing about 25%, and the primary sector, which is basically agriculture. Yeah. And also mining, oil and gas is also in this. Upstream oil and gas is in primary sector. So in terms of breakdown, most of the investments approved in the year 2012 was in the service sector, 72%, manufacturing was 25%, and primary was only 2.3%. That's the sectoral breakdown. Let me move on to manufacturing. Approved investments, in our view, remain high. 41 billion, although 2011 was a much higher figure, 56 billion in the year 2011, came down to 41 billion last year. This has got to do with E&E. Investments approved in the E&E sector in 2011 amounted to about 20 billion, and last year was only about 4 billion. So a steep drop in investments in the E&E sector, 20 billion 2011 and only 4 billion in 2012. So that accounts for the decline in approved investments in manufacturing in the year 2012, and that has got to do with the current state of the sector, the E&E sector. This year, I've been talking to a few friends in the E&E sector. There's been a recovery, and this is being felt in Malaysia as well, and we expect some recovery in investments in E&E in 2013. So the drop in investments in 2012, approved investments manufacturing, has got to do mainly with the sluggish performance of the E&E sector. Okay. In terms of trend, Malaysia can no longer attract investments from multinationals which are going into labor-intensive operations for obvious reasons. We cannot compete with some of our neighbors. We have implemented minimum wages, 900 ringgit beginning 1st January. And in some countries, of course, the wages are a lot lower. So by definition, Malaysia is no longer competitive in attracting labor-intensive industries. What we've seen is that MNCs are going to research and development and design and development, developing its talent pool in Malaysia, and we're beginning to see more and more high-income jobs. This function I had a couple of hours ago, for example. These 17 companies, all of them will be paying better salaries to the people employed in those 17 companies, and these are the kind of activities that we are attracting in Malaysia, high-income job opportunities. So these are some trends. And next, this is the one I shared with you earlier, was in terms of total, all the three sectors. Now I'm focusing on manufacturing. In manufacturing, foreign investments remain very important. In manufacturing, foreign investments remain important, accounting for about half of total investments last year, 58% in 2011. Some slight decline in terms of percentage contribution, but foreign investments remain important in manufacturing. Okay. And in terms of, these are the breakdown of manufacturing, the biggest remains E&E. Although, as I say, E&E last year, we did not do as well, 4 billion. This is 2000 and 2012, over 12-year period. The figure I mentioned to you earlier was 2011, 20 billion last year approved, but in the year 2000 was 12.3. You can see a big drop. I mean, that part in purple, 12.3 billion in the year 2000, only 4 billion last year in the year 2012. Next will be chemicals, and the rest you can see for yourself. And what is interesting is that 64% of these investments come from Asian countries. In trade, 72% of trade is with Asia, 72. In investments, 64. The same trend can be seen here, but our engagement with Asia in trade is a lot more pervasive than in investments. So Japan, number one, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, China, Korea. These are the major countries where investments in manufacturing came from last year. Okay. We have attracted, there are two types of investments. One is greenfield, another is expansion. Those companies which are already here, we are pleased to note that they continue to expand, reinvesting either in new facilities or upgrading their technologies. So 35% belongs to this category of companies already in Malaysia, expanding or diversifying their operations, and 65% are greenfield investments, new projects. Okay. This is a breakdown of investments in manufacturing going into the various corridors. Sabah, very interesting, 5 billion, East Coast 4.6, Score 4.3, Iskandar 4.2, and Corridor Utara 3.1. In previous years, of course, Corridor Utara and other places have done a lot better, and last year Sabah was the most outstanding performer in terms of manufacturing investments. Okay, we do a study once a year. Mida sends a questionnaire to all the companies which we have approved investments, and over the period 2008 to 2012, about 76% of these investments have been implemented. Some, as you know, because of market conditions, some because of land and other issues. It takes some time before these projects take off. And here we see an implementation rate of 76%. Projects which have been approved, on average 76% have been implemented. And our KPI is somewhere around 80%. Yeah? We would like to see at least 80% of approved investments are on the ground implemented. Services, I'm done with manufacturing. Now let's move to services, a very important sector. The biggest amount is in services, approved last year, 117.6 billion in about 5,500 projects, creating 103,000 jobs. Yeah? This sector contributes 72% of total investments approved in 2012. So it's the biggest sector. Okay, and this sector, yeah, that's the trend. As you can see, a big jump in services last year from 70 billion in the year 2011 to 117, an increase of 67%, a big increase in approved investments in the service sector in the year 2012. Okay, in manufacturing, it's about half and half FDI and half DDI. In services, most of it, 90% is comes from domestic sources, 90% is domestic investments, and only 10% comes from FDIs. So that's the balance as far as services are concerned. The biggest sector is real estate. That's part of the service sector. As you can see, 117 was the total for 2012, 59 billion of that. Yeah, almost more than half of that comes from this sector, real estate. And this is happening everywhere, Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Johor, Iskandar. So the biggest chunk is real estate. Second is utilities. Yeah? Second is utilities. Next. Next, the primary sector. This is mainly mining and agriculture. Mining is mainly, of course, oil and gas. This is upstream. Downstream comes under manufacturing. Upstream classification is under the primary sector. So, you might be asking me why. I mean, the amount is so small, 2.8, when you've been hearing so much about this sector. So that explains why. Yeah? This is upstream. The downstream goes into manufacturing. So 2.8 billion. The mining there is mainly oil and gas. Very little iron ore, and almost all of it is mining. Plantation and commodities, agriculture, very small amounts. Okay. Next. So this is what's going to happen this year. We believe we are on track in terms of achieving our target of at least 5% growth in the year 2013. We have done well last year. This year, we believe we can sustain that growth momentum, and that's coming from manufacturing and services. Investments did very well last year in terms of approvals, and in terms of realized investments as well. We believe that we're going to be able to sustain this momentum, especially with the stepping up of the entry point projects, the implementation of the transformation program. In our view, we're going to be able to maintain the growth which we experienced in the year 2012, both in terms of GDP growth and in terms of growth in investments. We'll continue to, in terms of investment strategy, undertaking the ecosystem approach, completing the ecosystem. In solar, for example, we have to go into production of raw materials. In the past, there's been assembly of panels and those kind of operations. Going forward, we have been quite successful in attracting some investments which are manufacturing some of the raw materials required by the solar industry. Okay, next. These are some numbers and rankings which many of you are familiar with. I've been repeating this in many places, but it's important to keep on reminding ourselves that, as the chairman highlighted in his opening remarks, Malaysia continues to be an attractive destination for investments. And in 2013, we believe Johor is going to do extremely well. We were in Johor last Tuesday. Our Prime Minister and Premier Lee Hsien Loong, they were in Johor to launch 2 projects. One was a wellness center in Medini, another was Iskandar waterfront. And these projects will be implemented this year, and there'll be a few others in the pipeline. So we believe Johor is going to be one of the star performers in the year 2013, given the rapid developments going on in Johor. So that, in a nutshell, is highlights of what happened in the year 2012 and what is likely to happen in the year 2013. In summary, we believe that 2013 will be able to maintain the GDP growth, will be able to maintain the growth in investments, both FDI and also DDIs, and will be able to maintain Malaysia's position as an attractive investment destination. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Dato Sri.